Well, y'all, we beat Mac Mullah to it, so guess it ain't a reaction video. This time it's a reaction video. Let's get right into it.
Nolan Wells' murder investigation just took a dark turn. And we have more information and apparently new details from people that was there that doesn't make sense at all. It feels like when one lie don't work, they come back with another lie. And when that lie don't work, they come back with another lie. But somehow all the lies, even though they're inconsistent, they have one consistent.
Wouldn't this still be a reaction video if I'm still reacting to Poetic Justice? I said Poetic Justice. Poetic Flacco getting in this. It's still reacting to reaction. I would assume this is still a reaction video. So welcome back to my reaction channel, y'all.
Thing is Nolan Fall Guys. It's
Get it first here is A Tyson, yo. We knocking out reactions fast, quicker than anybody.
not our fault, man. Cut it
First
out, man.
round.
The more you guys talk, the more y'all expose yourselves.
I want to
Nolan Wells'
hear.
grandfather, who by the way is a retiree in the Air Force, he proposed a question on Facebook. Now he believes that Nolan Wells' body essentially was placed there because the discovery of the body doesn't make sense. He goes, too many unanswered questions. How can an island that was searched yesterday produce my grandson's body this morning? There's nothing right about this. Nolan Xavier Wells deserves the same things that people he knew and associated with will enjoy in life. This is very important right here. How was the island that was searched yesterday produce my grandson's body this morning?
We were not on the island, we were in the air.
And from your understanding, was the body, again, believed to be Noah, was it found in the same area as where the 18-year-old was last seen?
Hugo is car insurance that lets you pay at your own pace. Tired of big monthly?
As I appreciate it, was within close proximity to that northwest corner of the island.
Let's slow that down for a second because that's deep. Now, there's been speculations on where the body was found. The grandfather family said the body was found on an island, on land, not in the water. It was found on land, on the island. Grandfather brings up the fact that, they had drones out on day one. They had a huge man team on day one. They had planes on day one. They had a lot. They had a lot of resources on day one. And by day one, we're talking about on July 5th, the following day.
Didn't they say that the boat was behind the friend's mama house getting clean? If they said that, I mean, maybe the body was over there the whole time, and they went back out there earlier that day and dumped it.
They were searching from like
Maybe
6 a.m.
I could be reaching though. Y'all let me know in the comments.
to like the nighttime to find that body. So if they couldn't find it on day one, and they searched that entire island, they searched that entire body of water, all 15 miles, but the body just magically popped up the following day, it doesn't make sense at all to the family. Now, I'm no expert, so please, bro, right? I'm no expert. I don't know about currents. I don't know about the body floating up. I don't know, right? It could very well be expected for the body to be underwater, then float back up and get washed up on shores due to the currents. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'll leave it up to you guys who know more about that stuff than me.
No, for real. Let me know in
But
the
the
comments.
family's saying it doesn't make sense and it's suspicious. Was that body placed there? Or was it always there? Or did it just wash up on shore? I don't know. But the family is very suspicious. Now, if you hear like the captain, I guess, of the Cajun Navy, this is the group who I guess went out to search for Nolan and discover Nolan. They tell you how thoroughly of a job they did. They tell you how much resources was put into this from day one. So it's pretty improbable that they wouldn't find that body on that island
Quickly.
Can you walk us through the timeline from the moment that Nolan was reported missing?
Sure. So to the best of my knowledge, again, I didn't get a call till that next day. As I appreciate, late that evening, Nolan was on the beach. The vessel that he came with left, and from there, we don't know what happened, right? Again, I'm just a volunteer. I'm running volunteer operations. I'm not law enforcement. So what happened really isn't what I'm looking for. What I look for a search is that last known location, and then specifics about the area or specifics about the person. knowing that that northwest corner of Horn Island was what we call the LKL last known location. Um, from there, um, we looked at the weather conditions, tidal conditions, wind conditions to come up with a plan, come up with a grid on what we could do. As within 30 to 45 minutes of when I got notification of him missing from the family and then from the mother, we had surface vessels, that's boats, that were in the area starting to search. We also had 2 drones that were in the air, as well as boots on the ground on the island doing a manual walk to look for Nolan there.
They had boats to check the water. They had planes to check the area. They had manual walkers. They had drones. And that body was nowhere in sight on day 1. Day 2, the body is now in sight. Now, again, I do want to be clear. I'm not saying the people who were searching did anything wrong, because no, those are superheroes. They did their job. I'm saying, was the body moved? Was people in
That's what I
possession
think.
of that body? People who probably killed Nolan.
People who probably needed their boat cleaned.
And then once they realized, bro, like it's too hot to hold on to this body, they came back and dropped the body off, because it doesn't make sense, bro. Now, I'm no expert on tidal waves, on waves. I'm just not. So, again, I'm leaving out the possibility that there is a chance the body would have washed up on shore after a couple of days. But the last known location being the northeast, the body goes in the water and then comes back to the exact same location. I don't know. That don't make sense to me. I would think, like, if it goes in the water, it'll probably go off elsewhere, right? And wash up somewhere else. It
I'm not
wouldn't
sure
wash
about
up
that.
back in the same location that they claimed the body, that they claimed his last name. Like, I don't know, bro. It's just weird.
Mm,
Now, here's the part that gets really
I think it
spooky and really
can.
weird, right? There's a new theory now. Did y'all know that people that were there now have a new explanation as to how Nolan might have went missing? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. They're coming up with every creative excuse other than, yeah, we killed that boy.
The
Okay.
United Cajun Navy. They're a volunteer group who helps search for Nolan, but they also say that they have questions too. Let's listen.
Yeah,
Was told
definitely.
that there was a boat he thought he was going to get on that was leaving and that he might have been trying to swim to it.
You see, bro, they call us
Yep.
conspiracy theorists. They call us all type of stuff when we ask questions. But now y'all see what asking questions get you? It started off as, man, we don't know what happened. We left. Nobody seen nothing. Nobody know what happened. We all hop on our boats and left. He just disappeared out of nowhere. We don't know what happened. Now it's getting to, well, listen, man, don't tell nobody, bro. But like he was trying to swim towards the boat and he just went under. So y'all seen him trying to swim towards the boat and y'all let him drown. But I don't even believe that. I think the real story here. Now we're getting the real story. Now we're getting the real story. I think the real story here is that boy was on that boat. An argument took place. They pushed that boy from off that boat,
He couldn't
and they
swim.
kept going.
Just like Mean
And
Creek.
if they did see him swimming towards the boat, it's because they pushed him off and he was swimming towards it trying to get on. This is straight up murder. They murdered that boy, man. Straight up. They murdered that boy.
Yep. That's what it
If you
sounded
have
like to
Snap or
me.
Medicaid, you may qualify for a free iPhone or Samsung plus up to 10
Ooh.
gigabytes of data. Apply online in just 2 minutes. We'll ship.
Ooh.
And that's if that's what happened. Listen, I still don't think that it's just that black and white, or is that accidental. I don't think so, bruh. I think it's something much more nefarious. But if that's the story they're giving us now, think about it for a second. It started off as nobody's seen nothing. We don't know what happened. Now all of a sudden, now is they telling the researchers and the professionals, well, he had a boat he was supposed to get on, and he was swimming towards the boat and he drowned. Now he was swimming towards the boat and he drowned. No. If you listen to the timeline,
And them boys knew he did. Knew it was foul play. That's why he tried to hide his phone. Should never even grab his phone.
closely, actually called
If it won't playing.
took to Facebook. That's Warren Hudson's mama. She's the judge, by the way. Ashley Cole is a judge in the town. She said Warren Hudson told her that they last saw Nolan at 3 p.m. They left the island at 4:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
They told investigators, oh, they asked Nolan, hey, bro, do you want to come with us? We about to leave. And he says, nah, I'm going to stay behind. But if you last saw him at 3 p.m., but you left the island at 4:30 p.m.,
How'd you ask him?
then when did you ask him, hey, bro, we about to leave? You asked him that at 3 p.m.? Huh? What? Why would you ask him y'all about to leave, but then you guys stay an extra hour and 30 minutes? Y'all claim y'all left abruptly because y'all boat was malfunctioning, which is why y'all told him, hey, bro, we about to leave. But if you told him, hey, bro, we about to leave at 3 because your boat was malfunctioning, then why did you stay an hour and 30 minutes with a malfunctioning boat? A malfunctioning boat, by the way, that y'all sailed 15 miles in? Man, cut it out, man. Stop it. Now, so that
First of all, you check that before you leave.
time I
I forgot what it's called. It's called the bristle or bezel. Um, that little spot in the back that collects water, and you turn on your little pump that pumps the water out. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the word. Y'all let me know in the comments. But it was malfunctioning. That's something you check before you leave. Don't get out on that water without it.
to me now, the story we just heard actually lines up with the timeline they gave if they were not lying. All right. If they came out and told the truth, that timeline would make sense. And here's what I'm saying. So Javon Williams, Nolan Wall's best friend, the black kid, he ain't do nothing wrong, bro. That was Nolan's best friend. He says, yo, I last saw Nolan around 4 p.m. Because Javon Williams would have given Nolan a ride home if Nolan needed a ride. Like Javon ain't leaving like Nolan there. Nah, but Nolan was gone when Javon was still there. The last time he seen Nolan was around 4 p.m. The three
Mm-hmm.
friends who was on the boat that he was supposed to leave with, they said they left without him because he was talking to the girl Katie and he was gonna stay back to talk to Katie. Katie said the last time she seen Nolan was around 4. He told her that he was about to hop on a boat with his friends and leave. The friends he was supposed to hop on a boat and leave with are the only people who are now claiming they last saw Nolan at 3 p.m., even though their boat left at 4. And the reason why they will lie about seeing Nolan at 3, even though their boat left at 4:30, is because they know what took place on that boat. They know
They're
what
the
they did
ones
to
that
that
did
boy,
it.
man. Now the story is slowly coming out. Now it's slowly making sense. Oh, he
Mm-hmm.
was trying to swim towards that boat because he got kicked off the boat. He got pushed off the boat, which is murder. Benjamin
Mm-hmm.
Crumb says, yo, Nolan is a strong swimmer. Strong. He not just hopping in a body of water and then drowning. No, it would take him trying to swim for his life, trying to reach that boat. But the
For him
boat
to,
just kept on sailing, just kept on going away from him. And
that's
it took
messed
him
up.
drowning because he just got too tired after swimming for miles.
That's messed up.
This to me
Yeah.
is starting to make sense. The more information that comes out, the more we're starting to piece this together.
The only
That's why the mama
problem I have with
stepped
that
down.
story is that if the people in the boat knew he was trying to swim to it and they saw him getting carried off with the current, they would have known about it. They would have been able to react to it. Not only that, even if that wasn't the case, if he went into the water at all and became distressed, it was so crowded that day that it seems hard to believe that nobody would have noticed a distressed swimmer in the water. What I do know is that he went out there with a number of boys that has been his regular friend group since he was young. They were ready to leave at about 3 o'clock. They told him it's time to go.
It was planned, just like Mean Creek.
He had I was told he had started talking to a young lady and he wanted to hang back and keep talking to her, and that he would believe that he could get another ride.
Common sense will really help you work this out. Nolan was not the last person to leave the island. If he was the last person, they would have said, "Hey, we was all leaving. Like we all was leaving, and he was just staying around. He was just staying on the island, and we don't know why he was just staying there, but he was just staying on the island, and like we all left. He said he was gonna get a ride, but clearly he was not the last person to leave the island.
Exactly. Everybody left around the same time. Those guys on that boat sounds like they were the last ones to leave the island with Nolan.
He didn't drown alone. He didn't drown with nobody there to see. Because if that's the case, again, they would have said, "Oh yeah, he was the last person on the island." Like, "Oh, we were the last boat to leave the island. He was still there when we left." Someone would have came out and said that. So clearly, that's not true. Clearly, it's not. And if he would have drowned with everybody around,
Everybody's guilty.
people would have seen it. What are you talking about? It was a packed island. Clearly, what happened was that kid was on that boat. He was pushed off that boat, and he tried to swim to the boat, but he just kept on sailing. And eventually, bro, he was too far out, and he drowned.
We know that he was with his friends. They went out on Horn Island, as Charles said. He was the only black teenager that was there. And, you know, all of them came back safely on the boat with his cell phone, Harvey. But Nolan's body was found washed up on the shore on Monday morning. His family.
And that explains why they didn't find it the first day, but they found it the second day. His body was still out there in the water, but they had a boat team out there. That don't make sense either.
Is not accepting that it was an accidental drowning. Uh, they haven't been told anything, but that's been the suggestion, and they're not accepting that because Nolan was a college football player. He was a superior athlete. He was in great fitness and condition, and so for them to try to say, well, we got his phone, but we don't know where he's at. And then he turns up dead. They are not accepting it. And there are so many questions, so many contradictions.
That was Benjamin Crump earlier today on TMZ. Benjamin Crump has been brought in to lead a private investigation into Nolan Wells' death. I say Nolan Wells' murder, but maybe I'm just too pessimistic. But yeah, I think he was murdered.
I think so
But
too.
yeah, he's right. If this was just one or two things that ain't make sense, but the entire story is contradictory. The entire story doesn't make sense. And then you take into consideration things like, his phone was left with the very same people who claim they hadn't seen him since 3 p.m. Huh? Oh, and by the way, when the family got back the phone, messages were deleted from the phone. Things were deleted from the phone. Even though Nolan Wells apparently hadn't had his phone since earlier that day, according to them. Huh? What? Nolan Wells was on an island at 4 and then magically disappeared from the island. Nobody's seen him. But then all of a sudden, people did see him, and they say, oh no, he was swimming towards the boat. Huh?
I know there is one friend, a young woman, who has come forward and has spoken to the police, and I'm wondering if she's spoken to you and how her version of events differ from what the other friends have said.
She hasn't spoken to us, but we know her statement that she released publicly. She said that she was talking to Nolan, and then Nolan said, well, I'm going back to the boat with the guys I came with. That's her version. She said that he did not leave with her, that he went back and got in the boat with the other boys. Well, the boys say that when they was talking to Nolan, he said he wasn't going to get in the boat with them, that he was going to stay with her, stay behind with her. Their statements contradict one another, and that is something that's very troubling. On top of the fact that we know there are videos circulating where there's an argument where you hear Nolan arguing with somebody, and we're trying to say this is too much to just try to sweep under the rug.
I think the buck stops at the police and law enforcement agency investigating this, man. They came out and said, hey, man, if anybody knows anything, please come forward and tell us. We're looking for people who can tell us something. Excuse me? Y'all looking for people, huh? Y'all looking. How about you start with the person that Nolan was arguing with in
That should have been the first person they went in and checked.
the water? How about you start with the 3 friends he came with? How about you start with the judge's son? How about you go to the how about you talk to the people who were involved? How about you talk to the people who had this kid's phone with them? Hey man, we are looking for people who was there. If you see something, please come forward. Y'all know who to talk to. Y'all
They all in each other's hands. That's why they need bigger wheels out there to check that.
just not talking to them because why? They come from powerful families, they come from strong families,
Yep.
and y'all just don't think that it's really worth kicking up dust in that small town. That's what it is. But y'all let me know in the comment section, man. What do you guys think, man? Right.
Man, you heard it first from Poetic Flacco himself, yeah. Any thoughts? Anything you want to say? Any condolences down in the comments, y'all. Let me know if you like this video. Hit the like and subscribe button, y'all. Till next time, I'm out.